we live. Hey. Welcome to another episode of Easy Sports. And today I'm joined by the gents. Trisho. What? It's Enzonke. Shiva. Sihle in. Gents, what's happening? Yo, are you guys
And there
good?
was
all good.
silence. And there was silence.
I'm
And there
all
was
good.
silence.
Look,
Yo,
I'm all good. I'm all good. I'm happy. What
I
about
missed
you
you
guys?
guys. I missed you guys, eh?
All good, dog.
Like,
Very,
yeah,
very good.
It's been a while since we were all like properly together. It has
100%.
been a very long time now that I think about it.
Yo, months, bro. It's been months. I think the last time was in winter, dog. Now we in summer. We now in summer. And speaking of
We're
summer,
still waiting for the right wing discussion.
oh yes, I won't lie, guys. Yo, but we'll talk about that off
Hey,
camera.
thank God it's December.
100%.
What does it even mean? But anyway,
Mm,
There's no traffic. Yeah,
It's
that's
been a
about it.
hectic few months.
I forgot to tell everyone that we are live. I just did now. Yes.
Yeah, I
now
know.
we can talk.
All right, gents. Let's start this off. Liverpool. We're team, dog. I won't lie. I didn't get to read what happened, dog. Like, why wasn't there the Merseyside dog?
Storm.
so there is a
Yeah.
storm Darag or Durag or something.
Ooh.
Basically it's a storm that's happening on the Irish Sea. It's not just in Liverpool. Like I think they were also considering the your game against Forest.
Yeah.
So it's in the north of England, and it's been a couple of days. It just so happened that the wind speeds were really high on that day. So that's why the game had to be postponed.
Yeah.
Oh.
It
I think
knocked off
normally
the
what they
storm.
try to do is if they
Mm.
know that's happening, they arrange with the police and they try to play the reverse fixture. I know that happened once with us in Leicester. We played at Leicester instead of at Anfield, but now the reverse fixture is like 2 kilometers away. So you know,
Yeah.
And the storm wreaked havoc. It knocked out like a couple of lights. I think the decision was made in the morning that the game was not going to, because I think it was the first game of the day, like 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
The decision was then made. Cops were involved. The first response service was involved, and I think it was a very difficult decision for them to make because the if you look at Liverpool's calendar, it's chock-a-block as is with all the competitions that they're involved in. So it was very, very difficult for it to be postponed.
but it
they
was the
haven't
right
given
decision. It was the right
it was.
decision.
Looking at the images coming from that side of the world, it deserved a postponement. But they haven't given a date as yet. So we'll count it as 3 points to Liverpool. I don't know if you
No,
want to.
not Everton away. It's always a tough game for us, Everton away. So yeah, I'm not counting anything.
Yeah, so
I'm
that's what
glad
happened.
Arsenal dropped points. I'm glad City dropped points.
Yeah.
Talk about
Not so
teams that
glad with
played.
Chelsea's form, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
is that your
Anyway.
third cup?
Yeah, that's my thing, bruh. Hey, this guy's distracting me. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I
of
don't
course.
Know, I don't know
Yeah.
where you guys want to start. Do you want to start with the good side, or you want to start with the bad side? Because I know
Yeah, let's-
everyone, we've got our keyboard warriors
Yeah.
waiting on the wings to give their input. So I don't know
Yeah.
where everyone wants to start.
I think let's start with United, bro.
Let's we start.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
What's fun, guys? Get it over and done with. It's like get it over and done.
No,
in,
look,
in high
to
school,
be
double
totally
science,
honest,
you'd prefer double science at the beginning of the day. Like first two, it's done for the day.
while
Yeah,
you
but
fresh,
anyway,
just after you've
yeah,
had your coffee.
100%.
I did say it was going to get worse before it got better. And I think Amarim understands that because as much as he tries to say there isn't that much of a difference between a 3 at the back and a 4 at the back, the players still have to get used to a new system. So it will take time. I don't think you guys are going to finish fourth like what Crizo was saying in He was counting the points to fourth, but he didn't count that there were 7 teams there between him and fourth.
Shabab, right?
It's
But
I
I
don't
think
think you guys are going to get fourth. Maybe you'll get Conference League. But just look for progress this season. Don't have too high expectations.
100%.
maybe just on
I think
tempering expectations. I watched. So I didn't watch the game. We're talking about Man United, right? I didn't watch
Yeah.
the Man United game live. I watched the extended highlights and I walked away with a question on what's the plan. I get everyone is speaking about he's giving these players rope to hang themselves and but I don't see that because what he does is the minute that a player is under pressure, he yanks them off, and in him yanking the player off, he doesn't allow the player to actually suffer for their consequence. I don't know, maybe I'm looking at it in a too granular level, but none of these players have had a manager who pointed them out that, hey, you actually shit, I don't want you in my team. It's all done subliminally where conversations are had and next thing you know the player is going. Like, I don't know, I'd prefer a manager if a player is cut. You give him time, you give him minutes so that everyone can see and justify your decision when you make the decision to go right ahead and he goes. I look at it and I wonder why Anthony never got to play. Like, why not give him minutes?
Because he's shit.
Damn. All right. It's yeah.
But
In
like, I
some
don't know, maybe I'm the
yes,
only one who's looking at it that way. That this manager seems to be very. He wants right now. He is he's stroking egos, and the egos are the players, same players that will get him fired.
nah, you see, you watched extended highlights, bro. You didn't watch the full game. Uh, I
Yeah,
beg I beg to differ with what
which
you're
is
saying.
which is why I'm coming and I'm asking that question, and this is coming from like the outside.
Mm, nah, bro. I don't think so. I don't think he's
What was the thinking behind taking Bruno off? Meanwhile, you need a goal, and the person who can provide Man United with the goal is Bruno.
You know, there are quite a few substitutions here, of course, on Saturday. I can agree. I even asked Onke. I'm not sure if you recall Onke when I asked you about the subs that were taking place, because I
yeah.
also
What was the point of the sub? Yeah.
100%, because you were watching the game along with Trishul and I.
Yeah.
Yeah. But maybe you can explain that, because on my end, I don't want to speak out of my ass.
Look. There's grace that I have for him. I think for him, he's still trying to find which personnel functions best in what he's trying to do. And unfortunately, in football, you're only going to find that out once that personnel is out there and playing. I remember early in the season, Sikle, if you remember, there was a game Disasi had that was so bad. And I said, it's good that he had a game this bad because then it means that I don't have to worry about Disasi starting games in the league for us much, much longer. And as a result, Disasi didn't start most games for us going forward. It was Fofana. If not Fofana, it was Tosin. So there is an elimination that a coach has to start doing first to say, in order for me to get to what I want, I know what the ability looks like in training. Now, in a high pressure situation where tactics can change, I have to be, very flexible in how I'm trying to utilize the players versus the team we're playing. I need to see what these players can offer me. I think he's still there. He's still in a place where he's like, I don't think Maguire had a horrible game during the week against Arsenal. So maybe let me put him in because it looks like um, maybe De Ligt is struggling, at that point in time. Chris is going to kill you, by the way, because he still doesn't have his comments.
Which guy? No, it does. He does. He does
Oh,
have his
okay, cool.
comments. Yeah, they work.
So So my concern also is yeah. I get that. Is there an echo? Or is it me?
Yeah,
Pretty
it's an
bad.
echo.
It's an echo.
Yo, what was that, guys?
I have no idea.
Are we back?
Restream. Ah, it's restream, dog.
Ah.
Restream. I want my money. I want my money anyway.
So I think the three.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
I'm gonna check.
Is it me?
I think it's you. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, your
Mute yourself.
picture's frozen. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's smiling, dog. Chelsea
Yeah.
are second. Yeah, you can go. You can continue, Sihle.
Yeah. So Forest is a team that Forest is weird, if we're being honest. Forest, if they see an opportunity, they will go right ahead and they will pounce on you. Okay? And that's what Forest did from the 45th minute up until the 57th minute, where they saw that there's an opportunity. You guys were sleeping, you hadn't come out in the second half, and you know that for a fact, but yet still there isn't, you don't show that we know what you are going to offer. I've got question marks, like endless question marks around your manager right now and his tactics and his substitution. No,
Yeah.
I shouldn't, because it's way too early in his tenure.
100%. It's way too early, bruh.
But then there's the other thing also, in that he lost against Arsenal during the week, and for the first time in his career, he's taken 2 L's in successive L's, and no manager wants that. I get that he's trying to figure out the players, but at some point he has to draw a line in the sand and say, "Yo,
Yeah.
this is it. I can't concede any more goals." But right now, it looks like
But
you are going to be conceding a lot of goals.
But another thing is that he has to actually utilize the team. You know, he has to play every player. You know, give everyone a chance. Because at the end of the day, when you go to the top, I mean, our team is pretty much a SOE. You know, you have to have a thorough presentation when you have to explain to the board why you don't want certain players. Like, for instance, Garnacho, for one. I think Garnacho has started 4 of the 6 games, right?
Yeah,
So he's really hanging himself. Like, we've seen it on numerous occasions. We've got enough data to realize that this guy's not good enough. To a point where even on Twitter he's getting cooked. It's bad for him. Even guys from Argentina are cooking him. His countrymen are cooking him. You know. So we now know, and especially when you go to the board, it's easy for him to present such a case. And we're a team that we're trying to, you know, be very, very wise with the money that we have due to FFP.
I don't think you've got money.
Hence, you see what I'm saying? Hence,
I think
players
you
like
have money, but you can't spend it.
yeah, to that extent, exactly, Shiva. That's what I'm saying. Because some players in this team, actually, a lot of players in this team need to leave. I mean, they need to bounce, and some of them there's value towards them. Like Dalo, for one. I know not a lot of people are happy with Dalo ever since the manager came in, but there's a lot of money we can get from Dalo if should we choose to sell him. You know what I mean? We can make a lot of money and then recruit accordingly, because Omar Porada seems to be someone who is, you know, he's very good at identifying players who suit this philosophy. And it's just a matter of time until, you know, things get better. But for me, I'm not out here celebrating. I know on social media, guys, don't, especially you, CKN, don't believe the hype you see on social media. That's United fans, man. we're problematic when it comes to that. You know, we tend to
I know you're a
carried away.
delusional bunch. I
Yeah.
enjoy your ways of thinking.
Yeah.
And then a new manager comes through, and then you guys are oh, this is the second coming, and but like, I look at the crop of players that he has. This boy is in trouble unless you stick with him. Unless you really, really, really stick with him. but he
Yeah.
is in trouble.
No, indeed, indeed,
The
indeed.
work that he has in front of him right now is, and I think what makes it even more weird is what's going on a board level, because
Mm.
I get your, what's his name, is Ashford, I think.
It's Dan Ashworth, the guy we
Yeah,
fired. Yeah.
yeah. I get that it can happen that like you see a job spec and you like think to
Mhm.
yourself, actually I could do this, and then you get there and the culture is not what you want it to be. The ask is, yeah, there's like a clash of egos, and because I mean you've already paid 10 bar to Newcastle to release this man early,
Aish.
and I think everyone is aware that Ashwood is all English. He wanted, and I said it earlier on, where he wanted an English manager to
Potter
manage
was
the biggest team in
Southgate.
the world. Potter, or it could have been, who's the other guy that was in the running? Southgate, who was also in the running. So where we are right now, where with the way that Ineos is moving, it's also very, I wouldn't say shady. On a business practice, it makes sense in that you see that, oh, this is not going to work out, and you cut your losses very early. But you've got players that you've kept throughout the tenure of like 3 different managers, and they've been dead wood, but like nothing has happened to these players. So it's like you're very choosy with what you can be decisive on and what you're not decisive on. Kind of like reminds us of our president, where when it comes to business matters, he's very decisive. But when it
Yeah.
comes to matters that matter to us as the citizens, he takes his time and he kicks the can down the road. And I look at Man United, I think you guys are in trouble.
Nah.
And I'm not one to like foresee the future, but like presented with everything there is right now, I think you guys can see the problem is with the players and the noise coming from up top. And as a manager, in as much as he wants to protect his players, it makes it very, very tricky when they pull a performance like they did this past weekend.
As you can see, this comment, bro, guys. Before you answer, you speak, Shiva. Yeah. I'm just saying, your team also looked weird. When the new ownership came in, you guys looked
There's a comment that I remember we
bad. Things
and
worked out.
X, you agreed on this comment where I
Yeah.
think it was beginning of the season. We said talent-wise, Chelsea is far ahead of Man United, and at the
Yeah.
time, you thought that Man United, on a structural level, is far ahead of Chelsea because remember of all the turmoil that was going on at Chelsea. But like looking
Nah.
at it right now, and the season is what, 6 months in?
Yeah.
Would you say
Not
the same
even
thing?
Not even 6 months in, dog.
3 months.
Yeah, like 3 months. But you see what? It's at the end. You say they say hindsight is what? 2020, right?
2020, yeah.
Yeah. So on my end, because you guys were getting American owners, I thought that your American owners were gonna behave like my American owners or Arsenal's American owners. But I've been proven wrong. Clearly, there's been a plan, and we're now seeing it manifest in our eyes with your club. You guys can make 7 subs, or what again? Yeah, you guys can make 7
Can have two teams. We can have
changes.
two teams
Changes.
for one. You can have
Yeah,
one team for one competition, another team for another competition.
and both teams are amazing.
Yeah.
Both teams are, especially your front six, bro. Your front six is just wavy, 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 and I didn't see that. A lot of people didn't foresee that. And how quickly things, especially with your owner. Your owner recently arrived at your club. It's not too long, and already you guys are actually doing extremely well. I mean, yesterday's game alone just shows how far you guys have come. Because the Chelsea before would have never ever came back from 2 goals down. So yeah, Shiva, sorry for interrupting you, bro. You were meant to speak.
What I was gonna say was United can't exactly absorb the cost of just selling players
Yeah.
like how Chelsea could.
Mhm.
But that being said, like reducing the wage bill will probably allow or allow some spending due to FFP that you can make up for it. And
Mm.
I think the Lick took a wage cut I think Mazraoui took a wage cut. Correct me if I'm wrong, gents. So I think you guys are on the right path. You guys pulled out of Branthwaite because Everton wanted too much money. So I think this thing of the United tax might be a thing of the past very soon. But that being said, if everyone wants a United tax and you guys are not willing to spend the United tax, what players are you going to end up buying?
And this is a question for both Shivar and Trisho. I get that we United is trying to eliminate this tax that they speak of, but how far are the other teams that are challenging for the league would be at the time they get to that level of the United tax doesn't exist anymore? I don't know if that makes sense.
Well, what we did was we just pulled out. We
Yeah.
literally just pulled out of like we didn't sign. I don't remember who it was that we was trying to sign. We instead got Coutinho for 8 million from Inter, or we got Sturridge
Yeah.
from Chelsea for like 15 mil.
This is
But
Even
you speak about
Suarez.
United,
Even
like
Suarez was for like peanuts, bruh. How much did you guys get Suarez for?
It was like 24, I think.
Okay, at that time, 24 was a bit,
20. It was a yeah,
yeah,
it
a
was
lot.
decent.
Yeah.
I mean, he just had a biting incident, so you know.
the most effective way to get over paying high wages is by starting with your current squad. That's exactly what Bowley did when he arrived. He got rid of like a majority of our highest paid players and then refused to renew any player who wanted to be paid in the old structure. So
Mm,
this was
Mount.
Mason Mount, Conor
Mm.
Gallagher. Those are the players that wanted to get paid from the older structure because the agents from that structure, of course, had a lot of influence in how the club was paying players. Now the problem then becomes you will have players that had arrived and not gotten paid and were expecting that they are next in line. You need to manage those players. Either you need to get rid of them or they need to get with the program. Kai Havertz wanted to still get paid. We got rid of him. Arsenal is paying for him, and they are also paying for their sins in signing him in the first place. And we are
I
happy
don't
with
think
that.
he's that bad.
No, it's not about
Yeah.
being
yeah,
that bad.
I'm with Shivar on that. He is what Arsenal thought they needed, but are they going to sustain it in the long run? I think only Jesus can answer that. But
What
yes,
do you mean what they thought they needed? What do you think Arsenal thought they needed when they bought
they
Havertz?
I
needed a world class striker, and
So
I
is
think
is he that? Is Kai
no, he's
Havertz
not.
a world class
I
striker?
I think
That's why
what
the thought.
Arteta wanted, he wanted someone who could hold up the ball. To
Okay.
bring in Saka, Martinelli, and Odegaard. I think that's what he was looking for. Which Havertz is not like. I'm not gonna say they're getting what they paid for, but it's not. It's not a bad signing.
If
It could
he
have
was
been
playing
worse.
well,
It could
let
have
me
been
let me let
worse.
me ask you guys this way. Remember when Kai Havertz was signed, he didn't play as a striker at Arsenal. He played as a midfielder. That's where he started. Gabriel was playing ahead of him as a striker. He was playing in midfield. And then Arsenal struggled mightily with him in midfield. Then he was moved to the front. Gabriel got injured. Then he was moved to the nine. I remember it was either him or Eddie Nketiah. Nketiah was scoring goals, and Nketiah ended up
Got a
being
hat trick.
benched for Kai Havertz.
Mm.
End up being benched completely for Kai Havertz, even sold because of Kai Havertz. So basically, Kai Havertz then became a striker after he was signed. I don't think that's what he was signing. I think he was signing an attacking midfielder, not a striker. And he got a striker instead. That's why he went and got Trossard that very same season because that position that he was trying to cover wasn't covered anymore. So I think if you're looking at it holistically, Arsenal didn't get what they paid for. Arsenal are still trying to get what they paid for in value, in terms of value, but they're not because Havertz is not the greatest striker. Not greatest. That's a horrible term to use, but he's not a great striker. He's not a great attacking player, because if we're saying, okay, if you're not looking at him as a striker and just look at his overall gameplay, he's not setting the world
and
alight.
and contribution to the team. I get it, but I think let's not jump into the Arsenal wagon at the moment, because
Yeah.
I'm very much intrigued with Man United. I get that everyone is saying it's a reset on the season with the new manager. It is a reset, but at some point there has to be an expectation of what the ask is of the manager and how long is the ask going to take. Is the
They
ask
can't
going to
start
be
now.
an Arteta? Is it going to be an Arteta kind of thing in trust the process for the next 4 or 5 years? Or is it going to be give me 3 transfer windows and then I'll have a fire sale, and then I'll get players that believe in my system and can play in my system? So I think there's that huge question mark, because I think right now, if you look at where Man United is, there's huge question marks on one role that should never have question marks, because that player should be consistent, and that's your goalie. This past weekend, he was fucking shit. And he's not consistent. He can go one game, be brilliant, the next game, be all over the place. And I think it plays also on the defense, in that the defense never really know which Onana they have for the day. And then they start making stupid mistakes. That Wood goal that came in, if you look at it, it's a weird combination of errors, in that between the defender, who was close to the keeper, no one was made a decision of, you know what, this is dangerous, let's clear it. It was, I don't know whether it was an expectation on the keeper should have it, the defender should have it, and Martinez is on the far post. He's also looking at it in
How
his
did he
immediate
not clear
base.
that ball? How did he not clear
That's
that
the
ball?
thing. That's the thing. He's short. He's short. Yeah, he didn't see it. So I'm honestly, I think the United fans need to tell us where they are, because it's a weird space to be in. I've been there before, but I could see where I'm going. Right now, you are in the eye of the storm. It's not as clear as it should be. Maybe I'm being too hypocritical in that I watched the game with United fans, yesterday's game, and the wish that they had was, you know what, if we could fast track and be like where you are right now. Unfortunately, it's school fees. You can't fast track it.
Yeah,
You
I mean,
have
here's
to
a
pay.
comment here at the bottom with Gachiso. He speaks on your
Nah,
team.
don't sell everyone.
The thing is, as I tried to say earlier, right? Yes, you're cleaning up the wage bill, but Chelsea sold a lot of players for cheap because they could absorb that cost. Can you guys absorb that cost? I mean, they did kind of had to make up for it now, with some FFP restrictions, but they even avoided that. Can you guys do that? Can you guys afford losing Mason Mount for
Unless they do what their neighbors did, in that they have they have parallel contracts running, the official contract and the not so official contracts.
Yeah,
If that
yeah.
makes sense, I think that's the only way you
Oh,
can get.
that makes sense. That makes sense. The one from Pip's brother, maybe Amarim has a brother somewhere.
Thank you, Trisha. What are your views? Right, because
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
been watching
Trishul is
Gary.
very quiet, dog. Yeah.
He's
What's wrong,
hurting.
Trishul?
He's
You
hurting.
start, you
Look,
start
guys,
speaking, mate.
it's too many cooks in one pot. I think that's where we need to start it, because we've got players that are here from Van Gaal's time, from Mourinho's time, from Dallo's time. Now, with that comment, and Uncle and Cisse will back me up on this. Todd came in, bought players, he saw who were shit, and he told him to piss off. Then Enzo came in, he saw players that were even more shit, he told him to leave as well. And it's true, it's a completely different team from a year or two ago. Now with United, it's not that we're getting rid of the shit, it's that we're signing the shit. It's that we're keeping the shit. And until that's changing, that we're not going to get anywhere. I've said this before.
Yeah.
Why? Why was you want to talk about saving money? Why was De Gea let go of for free and Onana bought for 50 million? Why was Mount bought for 60 million when we could have waited 6 months and got him for free? And even then, he would have been a ripoff. Why was players like, even Xerxes too? Like, I know he was what 35, 40 million. Why was there a need to go out and splash that money on players that we didn't need? And then, I mean, maybe that's why one of the reasons why Ashworth left. I know he really wanted Southgate, and that's a sackable offense in itself.
Yeah.
I,
Yo,
I that would
I've
have just
lost
been
respect. I've
bad
lost
for us.
all
Yeah.
respect for that guy.
And
He's
look
yo.
with Morum, right? Like I said last week, this is not his season. I've written the season off. The season for me,
It's that reset that everyone speaks
yeah.
of.
You let if he wants to take Bruno and Maz off in the 50th minute to see what Ahmed can do at Cam or what this person can do, that's fine. You let him do that because he needs to experiment. It's not, we can't blame this on him because if you give someone shit to work with, they have shit to work with. They need to find out what's the best thing they can do with shit. If they can't work with shit, then they have to wait until they can bring in who they want. And we're a month away from the window. I don't even think we can make that many signings, if any at all. So does that mean that from now until the end of the season, when he's working with players who he doesn't want, and mind, when you listen to this guy talk to the press, he's called our team shit at least 4 or 5 times. Straight,
Yeah.
straight to the point.
He's just
But
saying it
he
in
just doesn't say it like they're
yeah.
shit. But he has really said like at least
Yeah.
4 or 5 times that these guys are shit. I don't want them. I'm waiting
Mm,
for my guys.
mm.
Now, if we're gonna go out and spend the money, then at this point, are we letting our manager have the veto? Are we letting our board have the veto? That
Yeah.
also needs to be looked at. For Amorim to get his tactic right, he needs players that he is familiar with. And then in that case, are we going to expect players from the Portuguese division to straight up make the step up to the Premier League? We can't do that. So
No.
it's up to us now to provide him with the the data analysis, the statistical analysis of whichever player he could want, the kind of player he would want, so that he can actually do something next summer. But we're not going to get anywhere this season because we are full of shit. This team is full of too much shit. It's full of too much rot.
That's like the common word of the day. You know, that's like the word of
It's
the day, dog.
like if you look at what Chelsea had a few years ago, look, people will make fun of Chelsea and be like, "Oh, you guys were 15." Chelsea are second in the Premier League now because they allowed a manager to come in with his ideas and tell the
Mm,
board, "I don't want this guy. He can piss off." And he's still young enough where we can sell him and still make money from that.
yeah.
Like, yes, they gave these guys 8, 9, 10 year
Death row,
contracts.
death row, death row, death row record. That's what X called them. Those
Death row
9-year
records.
contracts.
Yeah. Get through contracts, bro.
See, see, Chelsea gave their players contracts so that the
Yo.
fees that they paid for them are amortized, saving them money in the long run. That allowed
Yeah.
them to spend even more money to help whichever manager they're sticking with. And then the player sales that they are making, it's all in one batch. The player sales are not amortized. So if they're selling a player for 40 million, they can spend that 40 million. No, they're very much allowed to. Now with United, are we going to sell Marcus Rashford? We're not going to sell Marcus Rashford. They'll never sell Marcus Rashford. And the thing is, Rashford is a player who we can get the most money from, but they're not
Dude.
going to. If
Hey.
Marcus Rashford was Brazilian, if Marcus Rashford was French, he wouldn't be playing for United. He would not be wearing a United shirt. But because he's Mank born and bred and his name fits in the song, he's our highest paid player and he's going to play. Fair enough, Amorim has been benching him, but is that because he's been shipped or because Amorim is trying to figure out what he can do with the other players? And
You
until
know,
we actually
you
figure
know,
out what to do with these players, we're not getting anywhere.
it's
Garnacho needs to be benched. Garnacho has been horrific. Bench the kid. I love the kid, but bench him. Lissandro, love the guy. shut him off at this point if he's going to carry on doing this. Onana, you guys know how I feel on Onana. Even when people say, okay, he's been having a good style of form. Look,
Can't trust them,
why
man.
I'm not a fan of Onana. For 12 years, I never worried about a goalkeeper at United. For 12 years, I did not worry. Here, every game, you don't know what you're going to get with Onana.
Yep. Yep.
So if we're not cutting that up, if we're being ruthless enough to fire a guy that we fought Newcastle for 6 months over, why are we not being ruthless with some of these players? That's what
Also, my
I think
question
you
then,
will be. I think you will be ruthless. Sorry, okay. I think you guys will be ruthless when the time comes, but you can't be ruthless in January because you can't
Mm.
replace players that easily in January.
And
So,
January is known for not being the best window. I
Yeah.
think there's only like 3 players that anyone can speak of on their club that made the switch in Jan and were success.
I
Because
can
what
give
happens
you
in
3 players in my club that we signed in
it's
Jan
only
that were
Bruno
a
Van
success.
Dijk, Evra, and Vidic. Those are the only players in
No,
January.
even Suarez. Even Suarez.
Diaz,
Suarez, yes, and
And
Suarez.
Luis
Diaz.
Diaz,
Yes, as well.
Cody Gakpo.
Okay, I don't know
Because
about
what happens-
Gakpo now. Maybe
what
I don't know about
happens
Gakpo.
Yeah.
Yeah, hey,
Gakpo,
Onke,
Gakpo,
yeah.
Gakpo,
Thank you,
you're not
Onke.
gonna convince
But
us,
yeah,
eh?
For the
Diaz.
amount we paid for him, I'm
Ah,
including it. It was like
Nah.
37 or something.
nah,
40
still,
mil, we got Palmer. But anyway,
Let's
we'll
do
not
a
talk about that for
Palmer
now.
celebration on you.
With
dog.
Jan is a weird, yeah. Jan is a weird
Yeah.
time because you're doing one of two things. Jan, it's either you are making panic buys because December has been like freaking. It's been a reminder that hey, listen, you're not as good as you thought you were because the December period really taxes a squad. So you make these panic buys and you are hopeful that hey, this player performs and beds in the team real quick, and it really happens. So if Man United is betting on getting players in December, not gonna happen.
So I'll be honest,
Mhm.
and you guys probably won't expect this, but this situation is not only on the players. And I'll tell you why. It's because why wasn't the call to make Ten Hag like out of the club, to get him out of the club? Why was that made in the summer? That's because of the board. If Ten Hag is gone in the
Give him
summer
an
and
extra. They gave
Moram
him an
comes in,
extra. They gave him an extra year in his contract, and that
exactly.
created
So
a perception
that's
that
an
we
extra
believe he
8
is
or 9
gone.
million to cut him off. That's a transfer window wasted because, as we can see, some of these players were Ten Hag buyers. But then also it means that Amorim now doesn't get a summer transfer window, and then he's relying on a winter window where clubs are not willing sellers in winter, so that adds 15-20% to any price tag immediately. And then it also means that, and this is something that I've seen like barely anyone talk about, because he has to deal with playing shit players for the rest of the season. That's going to put pressure on him because the media are going to assume that he's
Unnecessary
well.
pressure.
Already, bro. Gary Neville has been talking shit.
Yeah,
Since
you
that's
you
the
can't give
word of the day.
someone you can't give someone instructions on how to bake a cake and then the chocolate ice cream is shit because then they're gonna make a shit cake. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna have a lot of these guys in the media saying Amora was not the right guy, and then you're gonna get some random guy from Norway saying, "Oh yeah, you shouldn't have fired Solskjaer." You know, you're gonna get all of these people. You're gonna get all of these people who are gonna say this and say that. But the truth is, unless the players that have been the problem for years are gone, we're never gonna get anywhere. And like I've been saying for the past couple months, we can't blame the Glazers anymore. They're not doing anything. They're not here. The Glazers aren't doing anything. It's Ratcliffe.
Yeah.
Ratcliffe brought these guys in. So if it's not the Glazers, it's not the manager, it's not the board. I mean, it is the board, but if it's not them, then it falls to the playing staff. And if players on 350 grand a week can't take on a 35-year-old fullback, then there's definitely a problem. But
I'll say
It
until we
goes
figure it
to
out, we need to do what Chelsea did. Sorry for cutting you off there, but until we do what Chelsea did, cut everyone off, we're not going to get anywhere. Definitely not.
I genuinely think that United organizationally is where the problem starts. I think that Ineos fighting Newcastle for Dan Ashworth and paying the release fee of about £10 million for Dan Ashworth eventually to Newcastle and then firing him 4 months into the season is an indictment on Ineos and their
Mhm.
own recruitment. Because how are you recruiting someone for that long who is not in tune with your vision for the club that you are buying into? It makes no sense. Eh,
Mm.
what metric did you use to recruit Dan Ashworth? Oh, English lad
Mm.
who's who's a top executive at another English club. Like, was that your metric? D- You have to be intentional, and sometimes what you're trying to get to might not be clear, but eventually the vision becomes clear for everyone to see. No Chelsea fan can say when took over what the vision was. We're not even anywhere near what their vision was anyway. Say that we understand was, and we're all on board with their decisions, which is why even when Ineos came in, I was like, you guys are getting ahead of yourselves as if they've proven anything to you guys.
Mm.
I remember talking to Liverpool about FSG, and Liverpool fans hated FSG initially. Shivan knows this. They hated
We did not hate
FSG because it
FSG
was
initially.
You
aggressive.
did, you did, because they were very
No,
cheap.
no, no.
They were very
Initially,
good.
no, we did not hate FSG initially. I'll tell you why, right? FSG basically stopped us from going into administration. They got rid of the Americans,
Yes.
Hicks and Gillette. We only hated FSG around the time of the Super League because it was COVID where they tried to let go of staff. It was the whole Super League thing, and it was a whole
No,
thing
but
of them
that's
just not
post rebuild.
backing Klopp.
That's
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
that's
post
post
that was
rebuild.
rebuild.
way,
Yeah.
way later.
I'm talking
Yes,
about early FSG. Talking about um post Torres being sold. Uh, which year? Let me say
2011.
2011. 2011
Yes, but
to
that was
20 was a
their
great year. It was a great year.
so that was
2011 to
that was them
2013.
also coming into it, right? Yeah, around the Hodgson era. Look, we weren't too happy, but that was more Hodgson. Then
You
they
guys
got in
hated
Rogers.
FSG. You need to remember the Hodgson time. The
Ah,
Hodgson
dude,
era was
we did not
FSG.
hate FSG.
You did. The
We
reason
did. We
you
hated.
guys the reason they
Look,
went for Daglish, why was part of the reason they went for Daglish at the time was because the sentiment around the new ownership was so bad. They needed to go to an older coach who was a legend so that sentiment would improve. They had no intention of keeping
guys,
Daglish for long, hence they went for Brendan Rodgers
okay,
because they were still looking for the
we
coach
had
that
our
they wanted
we
for their
had our
project.
issues with FSG, but it was not. We did not want them out simply
No,
because
no, not
our
wanting them
previous
out.
owners almost put us in administration, and FSG got us out of that. Look, I have my problems with FSG, right? But it's not to the extent that United hate the Glazers. Nowhere near.
No, no, it's not even about the Glazers. I was talking more on Ineos. My point was, in the initial stages of new ownership coming in, there's a turbulent relationship between the fans understanding what that ownership is for the club. That happened at Liverpool. Maybe it wasn't hate; it was a big question mark
It was
around what
difficult.
FSG
Yes,
wanted.
yes.
Yeah, wanted for the club, and it was more about money for them because Fenway is about the money anyway. But it was about, are you guys
FSG
Liverpool
haven't
project
taken
or we
any
just
money
looking?
out of the club, though.
But that's the point. The point was no one at that time what his intentions truly were. All they saw was the decision making for the large initial stages, and they were very slow in and not intentional enough with what they were trying to go for in their project. But when Brendan Rodgers came in, they became very intentional in how they wanted to build that team.
Mm.
Thanks to Doug, because Doug Brendan with a lot of quality in that team as well, because
That's a lie,
the
Chriso.
fact that this was signed.
It was
That's a
okay.
lie.
Just to address Crizo, They it was 40 bar. I remember this. It was a very funny.
Why
situation.
are we addressing him?
It was
Why are
40
we
bar.
addressing this?
That's a good question, actually. Crizo, it's fine. We
Ho-
won't
hold
address
up.
you. Yeah, it
Let
all
Yes.
me
happened.
let me just put this to bed, right? What happened was
We know the
apparently
story.
Suarez had a release clause.
40 bar. Yeah,
So
release clause of
it
40
was
million,
for
and then
40
Arsenal,
bar
which
and
with the American owners, they went
yes,
and said 40 million
40 million and one.
and yeah.
Then John Henry tweeted and said, "What do you think they're smoking over there at the Emirates?" This was
Yes.
not on FSG.
Yes.
FSG pulled out the stop.
Shit, that's a funny ass story. Dog. That's a funny story.
But
Yo,
think
dog.
I think we can wrap up United.
Yeah, hey,
The
dude.
United problems run deep, and I think United just have to be comfortable with the relegation fight that they are in, and
What?
the minute
What fights?
that relegation fight that you guys are in.
You tried to sneak that one in there, Silde. You thought we wouldn't notice.
Yeah, like what? You
I think
crazy.
we can move on. You guys are in trouble, but I think everyone is aware of what the problems are. But addressing the problems, you've been doing that since the since the
You've been
Glazers
doing
came
that
in.
since
And if I'm not
since the Glazers came in, and if I'm not
okay, okay,
Hey,
so
okay.
Is it me?
Hey, okay.
yeah,
It's you, Onge.
Hey, okay, dog. You're killing our vibe, dog. You see, even in the
Ask your
comment
godmother
section,
to
they're
get you a
laughing at
set
you.
of headsets.
Get
But let's
yourself
move
back.
over to Chelsea. Yeah, Sitle. Let's talk about your team, the blue side of
Chelsea's
town.
it's an interesting case of
Yeah.
believing and trusting the process, and a young manager working with young players. Because if you look at our average age, it's like what 22. That's the team average age, and what he's doing with the players. I watched the game yesterday. The weirdest thing ever. I'm 2 goals down, and I'm like,
No panic.
we'll create chances.
we'll create chances.
It's Onke, dog.
It's on,
Please.
dog. Please.
Go,
Okay, I think you
Sitle.
must put your hand up when you need to speak.
Yeah, when you need to
When we are
talk,
all
man.
silent,
When you want to talk,
then
just
we
put your
give you a
hand up.
chance, and then yeah.
'Cause, like, I watched the game, and we like
See,
10
Chris,
minutes in. We 10 minutes in, and data analyst, but anyway, we're 10 minutes in, and we're 2 goals down. But I'm like, we will create chances, and as a fan, to have that feeling around your team, come end of the game and you've won the game 4-3, be like, oh, it's a good space to be in, and we can go granular and like, oh, you saw what Jackson did to make sure that Enzo doesn't pick up a yellow after he scored that goal, and he held his t-shirt so that it doesn't take. It's like small little things that like make the team. I don't know, X, if you saw that, you look confused. So after Enzo scored 3, it was 3-2. The first thing it does, because he's freaking rebellious as shit, because he's South American, he wants to take off his t-shirt, which is a yellow card offense. Yeah,
I saw.
and then
Caicedo.
and then no, it was Jackson. Jackson went
oh,
right
yeah.
ahead and went and grabbed. So it's like the small little things we are now a team. We're there for each other, because it's like you can't put a price on that, because he gets a yellow. He's not available. Well, the yellow will be like how many yellows is picked up, or a red. He misses a game or two. And in as much as he misses the European travels and whatnot, he's a team player and is very important in the team. So having that lack of understanding, you can't put monetary value on it. I don't know if that makes sense, and that you can't say, oh, this was a million and, but it's the overall togetherness of the team that we're in a very good space. And please exclude us from this whole, oh yeah, you guys are going for the title and whatnot. We're not there yet. Our keeper is fucking shit. Our keeper is a mid-table keeper. But right now, we can't address it, because we've got 8 other keepers in our roster, and that in itself is something that we need to sort out. Our defense is not top tier. It's not where it should be for a title challenging team. Going forward, we're brilliant. Middle of the park, we're brilliant. But there's things that we need to address, and I think we can have a conversation about title challenging next season. For now, we're stabilizing everything so that everyone has an understanding of this is where Chelsea is.
You guys
Say it with
remind
your
me a
chest,
little
bruh. Come on. Come on.
You guys
man.
remind me a little bit of Liverpool in that Suarez year, where you can sort of just outgun teams.
Yes.
You don't have a player of Suarez's quality, but you have more players. If what's his name, Neto's having a bad game, you bring on Kunku. That kind of thing. I think your fake humility is starting to show. You guys are doing well. You guys
Look,
are
just
doing
because
well.
a team is in second place doesn't necessarily mean they're challenging for the title.
Thank
And
you.
They are
I don't
challenging
think,
for the
no,
title.
no. I don't think that even they want to look at it as like we're challenging for the title. It's like we're going about our business quietly. We're second, which means
3
we're doing
points.
well.
That's all that
Leave
matters.
us
3
alone.
points.
I don't think, because remember, setting yourself up for a title race isn't just about playing well. It's a mental thing as well. If you're telling your players we can go for this title, and then they don't deliver, what happens to their confidence?
What happens to their confidence? Arsenal happens.
Okay, Onke, it's your turn now.
You didn't
It's your
have your
turn.
hand up, Onke.
You didn't have your hand up, bruh. You can go. Okay. Let's all go on mute, guys.
Wait,
I'm
you're on
okay,
mute,
you're
Onke.
muted.
Okay.
You're on mute.
Onke, you're reminding me of teams during COVID.
Okay, what's happening?
He was dropping some pearls.
Some
He
gems.
He was dropping some
He's the only one who can hear them.
pearls now. Now he's the
Now I'm hearing feedback.
Trisho,
Now I'm hearing.
what are you hearing?
We're getting up ourselves.
We're
I,
heading up ourselves.
Rizzo, do you have space in the comments for this guy? Guys,
That's fine.
yeah.
But honestly, yeah, leave Chelsea out of this whole. We're fighting for the title, because with the minute that you get excited that, oh shit, and I'll go back to Arsenal, and I know a lot of my Arsenal fans think I hate them. I hate everyone equally, so it's not, don't take it personal. I hate Man United. I hate Liverpool fans, and
What did we do?
Thank you. Last season when they were leading the log, when Arsenal were ahead, was it last season or the season before, on Christmas? And then by Feb they were like what, freaking 7 points behind City. The minute you start having that conversation, log off and restart. The minute you start having, then you start having what we call internal pressure. And internal pressure is the worst pressure that you can have, because like it's from within. And you lose one game, you lose 2 games, and you somersault into this. You start questioning the manager's decision. Because right now, Enzo can get away with a lot of shit. Enzo can go right ahead and take freaking, who's this player that we paid Modric, that we paid I don't know how many millions, 80 odd millions for, and he's only good enough for Conference League. Like right now, he can afford to do that. But come next season, when we qualify for Champions League, the conversation is going to be a different conversation. So right now, let him do what he wants to do so that he gives this team identity. The minute he's done that, call it fake humility and whatnot, but I don't see Chelsea challenging for the league. The only thing we can do is win 2 points.
I like how he makes He makes his appearance known.
Okay, dog.
Yes, and
Yeah.
and brilliant performance yesterday. Like literally, if I had to like pin it and say this was the line in the sand where Chelsea said we are, because I don't know if you guys remember, Drogba went and said he doesn't recognize his old team.
Yeah.
This was that moment where it tilted towards, yes, we are Chelsea. London is blue. We've won the league before.
No,
So
true.
that's silly. What I want to say is that's exactly why I say you remind me of the Suarez year, Liverpool in the Suarez year, because part of the reason why we could sustain that push for so long was because we didn't have European competition. Now, you guys do have European competition, but you have pretty much a different 11 for that. So your players are still getting a rest, and your key players like Palmer knows he doesn't even have to think about it. He doesn't have to worry about it. He can just focus on the league. And I think you guys will push City and Arsenal very close for this title.
I love the confidence you
And I
have in
think
us. And I'll take it. Thank you. Much appreciated.
you're
I
I
don't
welcome.
also do.
think they want what happened to Gerrard to happen to Palmer. You know, you don't want your star Englishman to go out sad
Uh,
and crying, and
Uh,
then your striker is also crying, and then not letting it slip, and then it slips. I don't think they want that. I think just let them be. I think Arsenal fans, well, we know how Arsenal fans. I think City will come right. I think their owners are just going to spend, so I don't see why City wouldn't be back in the title race come January, after January. I think, like we spoke about it last week, if you gave them fourth and Champions League at the start of the season, they would have bitten your hand off. There's no reason to even, and look, if they want to be in a title race, okay, sure, fine, they're in a title race, but they're what, 9 points behind Liverpool, eight
mm.
nine points.
I think it's like 4 now or 7 now because
With the
we
game in hand.
drew. Yeah, and
It's
then we didn't play this weekend, so it's not
no, man. Actually, it's closer than what you think. Liverpool
Honest.
4.
is 35 points. We 31.
Mm.
4
Oh,
points.
okay.
Yeah.
So
That's
then, so
tight, guys.
then,
It's
I
tight at
mean,
the top.
look. I don't think,
Yeah.
I don't think Chelsea or Enzo's more specifically will say to his players, "We can push for this," because remember, you'd rather get your squad to keep their heads on, especially when they're a young squad, so that when it's actually time for them to be a part of a title race, their
They
heads
have.
don't go off.
Thank
That,
you.
they've been in this situation. They were, look, even when we weren't challenging, we were we were there. But when it's time for us to actually challenge, then we'll be better equipped because we now have that experience. And like, I know that that they always say you can't win the league without losing the league first. But remember, this is a Chelsea team that came from 13th to second.
Yeah.
That's not supposed to be easy as well. Nobody even thought of them to be in top
Hey
three.
guys, Uncle has a message for you guys.
So
Yeah.
there's a comment that Tato B made before
Oh
this
yeah.
comment about
Let
no,
me
no,
bring
not
it
this
back.
one. No, not this one. There's another one that he made prior to this, where he's asked the question, Chelsea is not challenging for the title,
How
but
is Arsenal
Arsenal
and City
is.
above Chelsea for the title
Yeah.
race?
Just go
Oh
back to
yeah.
that. I don't know
Yeah,
if
I'm
you can
looking
find
for
it.
it. Yeah, I'm looking for it right now.
Yeah. The long and short of it is one, the vocal manager that yeah, there we go. How is Arsenal and City above Chelsea for title race? Pep will always deliver like a midwife. We know that. The problem with Arsenal, and I think we can segue to Arsenal right now, is the arrogance that comes with Arteta, and he's got the Arsenal fans believing that they are championship worthy already. And I use both those words in inverted Okay, I watched them over the weekend. Okay, they're far from it. They a distance from it. The ask of how they can win games with Martinelli, who I rated initially, but my rate I rate because he's Brazilian. Because I think you get away with the minute that you are Brazilian, you get away with a lot of shit. Like for me, like that in itself, it's like it means you have an understanding of like how to play football. Martinelli on the one side, and there's other players that I have that I've got like question marks around. Are they ready to win the league? Are they going to win it like Leicester did? Or
My
they're
thing
not?
is they haven't won anything. Like
That's
that
the
team
thing.
hasn't.
Which is
They
then the
haven't got over
fans.
the line.
Yeah, which is then the fans. In that the fans believe that, oh shit, we can actually win it. But I look at
I keep
Arsenal
talking
are
about
what
how
Chelsea are currently. It's just that their fans are stupid and they're hyping them. Where Chelsea are at now, Arsenal will be saying, yeah,
I think
yeah,
they
yeah,
better
yeah,
hope.
yeah, yeah, we're winning it, we're winning it, we're winning it. That's
I
the
think,
difference.
but as well, can Arsenal rotate like Chelsea can?
no, they can't.
No,
So
well,
They
no
can't
one
even
can
make
rotate like
they can't
Chelsea.
even
yeah,
make, they
yeah,
can't even make proper substitutions in a game. They can't like you look at their starting 11 and I think of like a player that's going to be like an impact player from the bench. I don't see that in Arsenal.
Well, there's Trossard.
It's one
yeah.
player.
Yeah, actually on Arsenal I think it was last week or the week before, I made a comment about them playing like some of the best football in the league. I take that back wholeheartedly. They don't. Yeah, see exactly this. They have changed it, and I think that they're changing it because he thinks, okay, maybe changing it will see them over the line, and now they're further from.
Mm-mm.
But
He
what
didn't
he
think
doesn't
about it.
understand is at this point of the season, you play like how we played last season. You change it toward the end of the season where the result is more important than the performance.
Thank you.
Right now, you need the performance to build your confidence and to back yourself that you can beat these teams. Toward the end, against tired legs, yes, then
yeah,
shut up shop.
100%, Shiva.
Like, dude,
You
if
you know when?
if pushing,
Yeah,
sorry, X. Let me just finish. Let me like the story.
yeah, you can.
If you're pushing City right at the end, like this is like the last 2 months of the season, performance doesn't matter. Like what matters is goals, and be it like scrappy as they come, you take them. Be it like you are Stoke FFC, you take them as they come. But right now, he's done it.
Atletico London.
He's pulled out way too early, and in him pulling out too early, actually no, I take that back. He's done it. He's done this change way too early. Sorry, I know there's kids. Sorry, kids. I know there's kids that watch.
Yeah, but you're right, Slade. And even this tactic of the corner tactic, I mean, it's
They're not
it's
gonna win anything playing like
nah,
this.
it
They're
reminds
not.
me it reminds me of the Springboks with the scrum, like when shit is hitting the fan, we know that we can rely on something. At least they have something
Yeah,
that
but like,
they really
guys,
can rely on.
I think the corners, it's something nice to have in your arsenal, but
Yeah,
it shouldn't be your go-to attack method.
yeah,
The
yeah,
fact
yeah,
that
yeah.
recently the XG from set pieces by itself has been higher than their full 90 XG
That's the
is
thing.
that's not supposed to happen. Like there's a reason Stoke City are not in the Premier League still. And the thing is, if he is trying to do this
Atletico London.
to win, this should have been done at the back end of the season last season and especially the season
Yeah,
before. Because that's how you win your league.
Yep.
Doing this now, look, it's the Premier League. Give it
yeah.
till January. They'll get figured out.
Yeah.
Someone will
Yep.
figure it out.
Teams
Drogba
will
already
figure
came
out.
out and said, you put a man 10 yards away from the corner kick taker and you make him jump.
Yeah.
That's all you need to do. Someone will
Yeah.
figure it out. And then is it another 3 or 4 months of him trying to figure something out?
There's a season that they were celebrating during I think it was like November, December, Jan. They were celebrating every goal like they've won the Champions League.
Yep.
I don't know if you guys remember that.
They came to Anfield. They drew 2-2. Arteta got sent off after fighting with Trent, and they celebrated like they won the league for a draw.
So then I ask myself, it's like, okay, which fans are more delusional? Is it the fans at the top being the Arsenal fans, or the fans at the bottom being 13th, Man United? Because
We're not
I share the
delusional.
same
We're just
feeling.
tired. We're just
Hey,
tired.
this
It's
guy
not
likes
delusional.
throwing shade at our team,
Yeah,
bruh.
we're not
No,
delusional.
this weekend I
It's
was
just
told
like with us, it's a situation of if you don't have hope, what's left? If you can't be hopeful, there's nothing left. So we're just
Yeah,
tired. We're not Arsenal fans who think we're going to
it's
win.
exactly what Onke is
Yeah,
saying, that
yeah.
one trick pony. And it's quite funny how they celebrated that Saka 88th minute goal.
And then it got ruled out.
Offside. Because
I
I watched it and I was like, he has to be offside. Because even the corner, the goal that stood, I
Yeah,
thought that
that
was offside.
that was
That was
close.
shady as fuck. I thought that was
But
offside.
I have a view on that because as much as it, like, I think that was so close, you just give it to the attacker.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
my opinion.
Let's see.
Yo.
That would be a huge Arsenal fan. Let's see. How do you say they won't win like that if they play like that? Top 6
because you
teams
couldn't beat Fulham away playing like that.
with most goals from
It's
corners outside.
no, it's not. It's not that we're saying you can't
Yeah.
play like that. It's
Yeah.
we're saying you. It's great that you are so good at set pieces. I wish we were that good at set pieces,
But
but that
is it
can't be
sustainable though?
your entire game plan
Yeah,
because you are gonna
sustainability.
get figured out.
That's true, Shiva. We've seen it so many times, bruh. Look at Pep right now. He's getting figured out, dog. It happens all the time.
Yep.
Honestly.
Look at
Yeah.
Ange. He's getting figured out now. And
Postecoglou,
he's
yeah.
questioning his whole methodology. Like
Mm.
so it cannot be that your only way to goal right now is
Yeah.
kicking the ball off the opponent so that you get a corner,
Yo, bruh.
or rolling over like you've been stabbed with a blunt dagger and get a set piece.
And you can see, bruh, even against United, Arsenal were battling to break us down, which was something that was surprising for me. In open play, they weren't causing us like issues, you know. So you are right. It's something that's they need to figure out another way. It can't just only be, you know, set pieces, man. Really.
And I love seeing Arsenal suffer. And it's not that I'm evil. No, it's not that I'm evil. But it's because of the fans. I know for a fact, if Arsenal didn't have a brilliant game, I'll go right ahead, and I know that their YouTube channel, that Arsenal TV, is going to be proper content. Because the level of delusional there is on another level, especially the guys that go in that actually go in the stadium. I want to be one of those guys one of the days, because if they are there and they haven't seen the highlights, and Martinelli could never be offside from that cross. He was with the last defender, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, bro, you watch the highlights, you will see Martinelli was offside. And this reliance on scoring these last-minute championship goals has to go away. Arsenal need to learn to go right ahead and finish off teams. They have to a certain degree, but there isn't control in them finishing off teams. There was a team 2008, 2009 that was coached by Pep Guardiola, where they didn't have the best of defenders, Barcelona at the time. But they knew how to outscore you, and once they've outscored you, they knew how to control the game. Where they play this tiki-taka thing of theirs, where they keep the ball, and it ends there. If your opponent doesn't have the ball, they can't score.
Yo, tiki-taka was a problematic system, guys. Let's be honest. And
Arsenal don't.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's true, bro. You know, I'm just thinking of how tiki-taka was so like, yo, when Pep came with it, man, he was smacking everyone left, right, and center. Even the Champions League final, bro, against Barca,
he took,
way too one-sided, bro.
Don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, but like it was bad. From kickoff, dog, you like
You know,
shit. When is
when
this game
Rooney
ending?
equalized,
Yeah.
I thought we had a chance, and then like 5 minutes
Nah,
later,
I
You
didn't,
never
dog.
saw the
I
ball
was still
again.
sweating, dog. I was sweating,
Equalized,
like,
and then
bro.
you forgot what color the ball was. Didn't
Yo,
see it after that.
I think Itaka took over, bruh. Hey, yeah, those are the days, eh?
And
Those were the
I
days.
remember when Barcelona got that other Liverpool guy, that Argentinian guy,
Mascherano.
Mascherano, and they chucked him to play number 5. Like, he's not built to be that defensive number 5
Yeah.
player. Yeah,
It's here.
and they
And
put him there.
And which team did he play for again, Shiva?
Played for Liverpool and then Barcelona.
Is it West Ham first?
Yeah, I went. Yeah,
Yes,
he was.
he
Yeah,
played for West
yeah,
Ham first.
Yeah,
River
They
Plate. I
played-
think it was River Plate.
Yeah.
Him
The
and
same
Carlos
thing-
Tevez were best friends.
Yeah, he and Tevez traveled the same route, but
Yeah.
Tevez never made it to
Yeah.
the big league. But anyway,
Yeah.
when it comes to tiki taka, like I'm
Yeah.
trying to look at what Arsenal offer besides the corners, because I'm pretty sure Arsene Wenger watches Arsenal games and he watches them live, and he takes notes because he's pedantic about like the style of play, and right now I don't think there is a style of play. There's a focal point. When the focal point is not there, everything that falls apart, Odegaard, and everyone keeps on celebrating Saka's assists.
No, guys. Okay. This is why your audio is not working. So that you can't say things like this.
Yeah, there's an echo. There's an echo. We repeat what he just said. There's an echo. But with Arsenal fans, something has to change. It cannot be that you're celebrating whenever you beat these like weird teams, and then you get beaten. Now we must feel sorry for you. No,
I agree with what Rizzo was saying there, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean, I still think Mo Salah is a superstar. I still think Virgil van Dijk is a superstar.
Yeah, but you're a Liverpool fan, so of course you're
I
going to
still
think.
think Cole Palmer is a
Yeah.
superstar.
No, I
thought
think-
Phil
Yeah,
Foden was a superstar.
But you know what's the
last season.
problem, Shavar,
Enzo-
bro? Oh, sorry.
Enzo made Enzo made a comment. He said, the likes of Salah and Cole Palmer. Actually, no, he didn't use Salah. He used who's this kid that we got from freaking
Brazil.
No, not from Brazil. Shit, why am I
Neto.
forgetting this kid's name?
Nkunku.
No, man.
Sancho.
No, we got from he's Portuguese. He plays.
Neto. Pedro
No,
Neto.
not Neto. No, the other Portuguese guys that we have.
Vega.
Oh, João Felix.
João Felix, yeah.
Oh,
He said
Felix.
João Felix and Cole Palmer. I just like forgot. Yeah. Yeah. João Felix and Cole Palmer are the reason fans pay money to come to the stadium.
Yep.
Because
Yeah.
the quality that they bring, and freaking you watch what pressure moment. I know that we are 3-2 up, but Cole Palmer decides, you know what, I'm not gonna freaking put it on the side and whatnot. I'm gonna paneka this shit, and everyone gets goosebumps. Like people that are not even fans of Cole Palmer. When you watch this, you cannot help yourself but to get goosebumps, because that's the beauty of or what Brazilian players used to be. Now we've got the likes of Anthony. I know someone said it before and shit. But like that unpredictability in how they see the picture, the overall picture, and we don't see the picture. We only know when the pass comes in. Sancho being one player, and I know that I'm defaulting to Chelsea, but like these are games that I watch time and time again. Sancho gets that one pass through to Palmer, and it's a pin, and it's Arsenal needs to really work on their bench. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know, dude. It's all about recruitment, you know. Hence,
You
I
don't
say,
win things with Jesus and Havertz as your strikers.
yeah, dog. And I mean, even the quality is also key, man. I mean, when you look at your team in comparison to the rest of the leagues,
Guys, it shouldn't.
It's quality,
dude. It shouldn't be the difference between your starters and your bench is like that.
It shouldn't be significant.
Because that's exactly where Arsenal is.
Yeah, dude. And I mean, a lot of teams are like that. Even Liverpool. If Salah and Van Dijk are out, Wagwan. You see what I'm
Well,
saying? I'm not saying
the
you
thing
guys
is,
would
right?
be. I'm not saying you guys would be terrible. You won't be like United. You'll still be
Shiva,
able to compete.
Shiva, you
But
miss,
Catch and
you
save
miss,
our
you
own.
it
miss.
is what it is, dog. It
No,
is what it
I'm
is.
what I'm trying to say is X.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do agree. Without Salah and without Van
Mm,
Dijk, we will be a completely different team. But the
mm,
other 9 players all have adequate backups, more than adequate backups, I would say.
mm. Sure.
Speak the
If
truth and
Salah
shame the
goes
devil,
off, okay,
Shiva.
fine.
If you
Let me
lose those
ask.
two before Jan,
Yeah.
where are you finishing?
No, Shiva, dog. Even for
Yeah, no.
fantasy, against Newcastle, who turned up when you guys were 3-1 down?
It was
It's that
Salah
guy
and
who you
Trent.
call. But you see, those are your. I'm just saying, like it's the gap, bro.
No,
It's far
but
off, dog.
X, you
Greatest
cannot.
Premier League right wing of all time turned up.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the greatest right winger of all time, aside from Leo Messi, turned up.
The problem is that there's
Okay,
a player that you
okay.
said beside that tells you that your player is the first loser. Talent deficit, top tier talent isn't supplemented well. I think Chelsea is the exception. We thought City had a top tier bench. We thought their bench was like stacked, and right now
Yeah,
they've been find out their bench is actually very thin.
and they're struggling City,
Footballers in
bro.
this day and age, they can be talent, but what the majority of them lack is brains.
Yeah,
And you
IQ,
can see it. They have
IQ.
no brains, and a lot of the youngsters are more worried about the image of themselves than the
Mm-hmm.
club. It's more about their careers than the club.
That's why when you look at
It's the name on
Yamal,
the back, not the name on the front. That's what
yeah,
it is
Yeah.
now.
but that's why
Yeah.
when you even look at Yamal, bruh, like yes, it's incredible what he's doing, bro. But like the players that we saw in the 2000s and 2010s, like they also, from a wavelength standpoint, were there. There were so many players who had high IQ back then, and
Hmm.
even in teams
Now, I
like
think we were
yeah,
spoiled with generational
yeah,
talent in our time. There were a lot of players that
mm,
were you could consider generational talent until the better player came along, like Ronaldo. Like everyone thought was generational talent until Messi came around. But anyway,
I
on,
know
on
Ronaldo's still
City,
generational, bro.
on City,
Uh-uh. I'm a
on,
Messi fan, by the way.
on City, I was surprised. There's a player that everyone said, "Oh, this is Mahrez reincarnated." Motherfucker,
Savinho.
Savinho,
he's
yeah.
played how many games and he doesn't have
But
a goal.
he,
Relax, okay, they're gonna come.
when I watch him though, he's not the biggest problem City have.
Yeah,
Like
that's
I
true.
don't think he's,
They've got small fires everywhere.
but I don't think he's one of the fires.
I think he is, and there's Jack. Jack is a fire that no one wants to speak on.
Yeah, Jack is the fire that's been put out, guys. We can move on from Jack.
Yeah. No,
When
indeed,
teams
indeed.
win,
This is a good point from Tato.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also the areas, Tato. Like it's like how I said, without Salah and Van Dijk, we won't be where we are. And the other 9 players all have more than adequate backups. It's the same with City, right? Why am I getting feedback now? And Onke is not here. Anyway,
I'm coming now, gents.
All right. Getting another
without
one.
Rodri,
Damn
without
straight.
Rodri, their midfield just doesn't tick as well. And
Yeah.
Gundo probably brought in to be the Rodri backup, but he does not have the legs.
Yeah, the legs are
He doesn't have the
gone.
dog anymore.
I know
There's
the
no
legs are
dog.
gone, bro. It's like even with De Bruyne, the legs are gone.
Mm.
A lot of players, their legs are gone, mate. It reminds me of, remember when the season where Moyes took over from United, bro?
Yep.
And then you could see
Yep.
legs are
Yeah.
completely gone, bro. So yeah, man, it's insane. It's insane times, eh? Let's just check these comments, guys, before we end the stream, because we've
What do you
been
mean by
shooting.
coddle?
I don't think Goulet has been
Yeah.
getting a chance, and I think Endrick is one of those that play for the name rather than the shot. And that's the difference between him and Yamal, because I
Yeah.
haven't seen someone that age be
Oh,
that since Messi and Cristiano. I'm
yeah.
not saying he's going to be as good as them, but I
You
haven't
never
seen
know.
that talented.
100%. And as well, he's just always keen to pass to his teammates, and his passing ability, his crossing ability, bro.
Yeah,
Like, and that's another thing when you look at a lot of teams, man. Crosses. It's rare to see players like cross the ball the way Yamal does. Unless if you're talking about Di Maria. I'm not sure if you guys watched Benfica's previous Champions League game where Di Maria's delivery, bruh. Yes, like it goes straight to the forehead, bro. Like it's like that's how clean it was. I think he had 2 late assists. Yeah, at
if
the end of
only
the
he
game.
wasn't such a rat, we could appreciate him more. But like,
Bro, I think he's a baller, bro. Di Maria.
no, he is up there for definitely one of the best players, like especially in that position. But
Yeah.
I'll never appreciate him because of what he did.
Mm,
But
yeah.
on Gula and Endrick, look,
Mm,
the talent is there. It's just that for some reason Gula doesn't play, and
yeah.
Endrick is very like he's getting to that point where it's like, you know, is he actually what people thought he would be? But then again, everyone said about Vinicius the first couple years, and now
Yeah.
he's who he is.
Mm,
People say that about Rodrigo. They're like, oh, did we just get another B-Tech Vinicius, who at that point also wasn't good, and now Rodrigo's world class, in my opinion. But
yo.
you see, the thing is, a Brazilian playing for Real Madrid, something is gonna happen. You know, that's just how it's always been. So it's a bit too early to say they're like this or that. It's just Endrick always struck me as your modern sort of selfish superstar that was more worried about himself compared to Yamal, who would give his life for
Yamal,
Barcelona.
exactly. Yamal is a La Masia boy, and he looks like a La
Mm.
Masia boy. He
Yep.
moves like a La Masia boy.
Mm. No, indeed. Hey guys, I think we can call it now because wow,
Yeah, but I
hour and
think
21 minutes. Yeah.
before we call
Sitli is
it,
not having you call it. He's
Yo,
nah,
going.
it's the end.
nah,
Just
nah, but
In
go
closing,
in closing,
no,
mate.
He went
I
and
think
recharged and came back just for this moment.
no,
Hey.
not even. I think the incident with who's that Western player, Antonio. I don't know how much you know.
oh yes.
Yeah, ish,
Um,
bro.
I don't
Um,
understand how he survived. Did you guys see the car?
yo,
Mm.
yeah, see, bro.
Yo,
These cars, man. Yo,
yeah, but by the looks of things, he's not coming back for the next like 12 months.
Yep.
Did injure
Broken leg.
his foot.
ish.
I think he's been a great 7 to West Ham. Overall, he's been a great 7 to EPL. He's one of the moment that I started respecting him more was when he got behind his teammate Zuma. I don't know if you guys remember the
Yeah. The
story
cat.
with
Yeah,
the
the
cat
cat.
incident where he then
Mm.
and I said then I'm like we know that Zuma is wrong, but to have a teammate stick up for you the way that he did, like mad respect. So I think like from everyone here, I know he watches it week in week out. That it's yeah, we just would like
Mm.
speedy recovery to him, and no
Yeah.
matter what happens, what end of the day, what matters is that he got out alive.
Mm.
From what we
Mm.
hear, he's in a stable condition, but end of the day, he's given us great moments that we can all just like
is
be
he
proud
not
of.
West Ham's all-time goal scorer?
He is.
He is.
He
He is.
is. He
So
is,
just
bro.
Proper
speedy
Barclays man.
recovery.
Uh,
Prayers with the family, the friends, like close to him. And if it's time to call it, it's God's way of just letting you know to call it.
Yeah.
And
mm.
we'll be more than happy if you're over 30 right now. Hey,
He's
once you hit
34.
30, once you hit 30, the bone recovers at a slower rate as compared to when you are in your 20s. But
Mm.
anyway, we're not even there. I think the ask right now is just to make sure that you in good health, and we'll see football afterwards. I thought because we know he's
Yeah.
gonna the team just that.
I know. Nice one, Sihle. And I know, guys. Thank you so much for availing yourselves as per usual. This was very dope, very therapeutic. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Shout outs to Onke. And of course, the word of the day being shit. Shout out to shit. I'm kidding, guys. Guys, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. You know, help a brother out. This is Easy Sport, and we out.
Thank you, our keyboard warriors. Much appreciated. You
Yeah,
made this special.
but